कम कर दो ये, इसके ज़्यादा ठंडा तो नहीं लगा। 20 is good. See? अच्छा, एंड यूजर अटेंडेंस हो रहा है क्या एंड यूजर वॉइसेस में? कहाँ है वो अटेंडेंस? उसका शीट भी इसमें बनाओ ना, एंड यूजर अटेंडेंस बनाओ। यूजर अटेंडेंस भी होना चाहिए ना, वो तो बोल के रखो जो जो। तो इसमें डालो, पुट इन वन शीट ओनली। तो ये यही कॉपी करके इसका एंड यूजर अटेंडेंस डाल दो। ये combined attendance. Today is 13 June, 2:30 p.m. Shears Prabhu present. Suhas Prabhu, Rajan Prabhu is there. Hemant Prabhu, Raju Prabhu, Atul Prabhu, Vassal Prabhu. क्या हो रहा है?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prince Prabhu, Aryan Prabhu,
That was like drawing from online.
online भी नहीं है ना?
Yes, Prabhuji.
वत्सल को क्या हुआ?
Sorry, bro. I'll come next class. Actually, I had headache, so.
वॉइस क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? किसका वॉइस नहीं आ रहा है? Can you speak now, Vassal Prabhu?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. I actually had headache, so I slept. तो कुछ नहीं.
नहीं आ जाओ, अभी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
आप ही आ जाओ.
आज अटेंडेंस दे देंगे आपको।
Yes, Prabhuji.
IC is the nearest place. Dwapar Prabhu, Deepak Prabhu, Manoj Prabhu. Manoj Prabhu has
Who is somewhere out with his related self. We can even try to get some classes.
Priyam Prabhu is there. Jitin Prabhu is online. Vijay Prabhu is online. He's traveling in train. Kedar Prabhu is there. Vedar Prabhu. Niranjan Prabhu is online. Abhay Prabhu is there. Aryan Prabhu is online. Naveen Prabhu. Rishi Prabhu. Yashas Prabhu. Ravi Ranjan Prabhu. Ajay Prabhu online. Pranab Prabhu. आपने अटेंड किया पहले इसका कोई क्लास पेनोडी का? लास्ट क्लास बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था। लास्ट क्लास किन किन लोगों ने मिस किया? लास्ट क्लास वाज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वन about Shuddha Bhakti. So if I ask you what is the definition of Shuddha Bhakti, you can tell. Yes. So what is the definition of Shuddha Bhakti? My voice is getting इसका इको ज़्यादा है, इधर इको देगा, इसको थोड़ा सा साउंड सिस्टम को आगे रखो। तो वाईफाई को बंद करो, ऑटोमेटिकली वाइब्रेशन फेंकेगा ना। जितना वाइब्रेशन से दूर उतना लाइफ अच्छा चलता है. Actually, this vibration does a lot of mental torture. Unknowingly, we never realize it. So रात को ना mobile, don't keep mobile with you. Switch off the mobile and sleep. जहाँ सका क्या हो जाएगा? No, put alarm. No? You can schedule also. Night 10 o'clock off, 4 o'clock on. You can schedule that also. No problem. Yeah. But don't sleep with vibration in the night. Only towers come out vibrations, which you can't avoid. This app named Network Smart, which finds on this. Okay, how many vibrations are there? And there are people getting out tumor, cancer, and all that also. Very harmful, these things. Very not seen, but harms a lot. Right? Unseen damages. Okay. So anybody will tell definition of Shuddha Bhakti? Raise your hand. Who will tell? Okay, Niranjan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Basically, Shuddha Bhakti is cultivation of Krishna consciousness by Anushilanam by predecessor acharyas and Anukulena, intention of an activity, and Anyabhilashita Shunyam, free from material desires.
Jnana Karma Anahata. So what is the primary characteristics of Bhakti? So okay, now a little bit. Pick a devotee and ask. Okay. What is the last time you were there, right? Online थे ना? तो अटेंडेंस है मेरे पास. जो आंसर नहीं बताया तो अटेंडेंस चला जाएगा. You there विष्णु आपको प्रेजेंट हुआ है. So what is family characteristics of Shuddha Bhakti? Prem Prabhu, you were there? Prem Prabhu also was there. Yes, Prem. What is the family characteristics of Shuddha Bhakti? Swarupa Lakshana. They are the Lakshana. Definition I'm asking. What is the primary definition of Swarup? Swarup Lakshana of Shuddha Bhakti. Swarup and Tathasana we discuss now. You know, tell the Sanskrit words in Sanskrit words. This particular. पूरा बताओ. सही बता रहे पूरा बताओ.
Continuously engaged with Krishna.
Hold and the full complete answer. Abhi. Ganesh. What is full? So Anukule, not Krishna, no? Ganesh Prabhu ne pura bataya. Ganesh ji has written all the scriptures. Simple thing or not? So how many of you remember this word? Anukule, Krishna, Anusila, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Who doesn't remember the verse? If you don't raise your hand, I'm going to ask. So, पहले बता दो. Who does not remember the verse? Anyabhilashita Shunyam. Okay. Others remember the verse. So, okay, let's define. Okay, what are the secondary characteristics of Shuddha Bhakti? Annamilashita, Jnana Karma. Now, why is the primary characteristics? So why that is primary, why this is secondary? Anyone like to say?
Because due to those primary, the secondary appears. Like one we are Anukulen and we are Karishnanu Anukulen.
Why this is primary, why this is secondary?
Because when we engage in this, then Anyavilashita will be over.
In Anushilana means we have to follow the footstep of Acharya. So that must be the primary for the Bhakti. So then comes the Jnana Karma and all that. So it must be the primary.
There's a step, some more explanation required, right?
The instructions and following the footsteps of the predecessor acharyas that engages in sadhana bhakti, and due to that process, the bhakti or the insanity gets free from
Okay, first this appears and the second later appears. Okay. Anybody online magic group? What different the primary Lakshana? See, there's no use of teaching if people don't remember and go deep in the concept. Sama devotee assimilated is important, not important concept. Yeah. Anybody online? Magic group, yes.
Prabhuji, I remember only Anya Bilasita Sunyam.
Anya Vilashita Shunyam. So that is secondary or primary?
Second.
Secondary, yes. So why difference? See, when you talk about Anukulena, Krishnanushinam, this is the definition of bhakti. If this is not there, then bhakti only is not there. Then the bhakti to be Shuddha Bhakti, it should be devoid of all mental desire. Like initially, you may also want to serve Krishna, but you also want to serve your senses. You also want to make money, you also want to enjoy life. So it is mixed bhakti, but bhakti. Because there is Anukulena Krishnanu. But when you know the desire then to please Krishna, and your bhakti is not covered by jnana and karma, is called Shuddha Bhakti. So therefore that is secondary characteristic. But for in order bhakti to be Shuddha, you need both the characteristics. Is this clear? Now, though the definition of Shuddha Bhakti looks to be very strict, right? But the benefits are also very amazing. What are 6 benefits of Shuddha Bhakti? Who remembers the 6 benefits of Shuddha Bhakti? What are 2 benefits which is manifest at the stage of sadhana bhakti? Only the Sadhvi devotees raise hand. What about other devotees? Okay, Abhi. Yes, Abhi. Why others didn't raise hand? Kedar? Why didn't you raise hand? You were there last week? Then why didn't you? Mrs. Fulton. Now, who will remember the bhava and the state of bhava? So first is Kleshagni Shuddha. What happens in Kleshagni? Abhip was very attentive. That time was in Bengal. No?
This I was saying, and did you discuss this in Udupi Yatra also?
Oh, yes. Okay. So you remember. Good. Yes.
Just as material. Subhada is auspicious.
Auspicious. Okay. See, these are very important concepts to remember. That's why I'm revising. What are two characteristics in the stage of Bhava Bhakti? So,
Sudurlabha and Moksha.
Sudurlabha, very, very rare. Anyone's advantage is there for liberation. That's a stage of prema.
Krishna Akarshan.
Shri Krishna Akarshani
And
ये देख के मत बोलो, बिना देखे बोलो.
Sandarananda, transcendental bliss.
Sandaranand Vishesha, condensed bliss. Right?
Yes.
So that's what. And why Bhakti is called Shubhada? It is Jagat Pudinam, Jagat Anvartaha, Sadgunadi Pudatvam, Sukha Pudatvam. Means benefits everybody, attracts everybody, best of all good qualities, gives super happiness and other items. So this is Shuddha Bhakti we discuss. Right? The benefits, the definition of Shuddha Bhakti and the benefits of Shuddha Bhakti. So when we discuss Shuddha Bhakti, devotee said it is difficult to perform. When we talk about benefit, devotees are happy. When we talk about definition of Bhakti, everything else was other expectation. When we talk about benefits of Bhava, Shuddha Bhakti, then said, yes. It's Acharya has doing both the things. Now, everyone of you got Bhakti Rasamrita in the book? Okay, everyone of you got? No?
No. So we
See, how many of you given? See, in the yes. See, did Anjana, we got 28 books. Did Anjana Prabhu contacted you? Where are their books went? Remember, they have filled in a poll. So 28 count was there in that poll, right? So, Heather, you have filled the poll or no? Why they have not got? इन तो अभी तो वही रह रहे हैं, सरजापुर रोड में रह रहे हैं. सरजापुर रोड ही आई थी books.
All is below. Very far, not too far. So wait for this.
Is there? So why can you check with Anjana Prabhu those who have not got? See how many of you have filled the poll but not got? See, 4 names are there. Others have got, isolated have got. 4 devotees, 5 devotees have not got. Indra Nagar, 3 तो सरजापुर रोड पे ही. Books तो वही थी. Books are there, ना? You got it.
No, I gave it to the other for once. He came to. So it's there.
You got your copy.
Yes, yes.
इन तीनों को भी दिलवा देना. और इंदिरा नगर devotees का भी सरजापुर रोड से collect कर लेना. The 28 copies already come because we are going to refer this book there. So of course I made a PPT now. The second wave. Sadhana Bhakti in practice. So if you see the page here, the second page, the Sadhana Bhakti devotion service in practice. So 3 types of Uttama Bhakti. Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti. So पहले तो previously we were talking about what is the प्रेम से भारत निकाल तो we discuss सामान्य भक्ति till now first way. Now we are talking about three types of Uttam Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and what is Uttam Bhakti? What is Uttam Bhakti called? Anyabilash Darshanyam, Jnana Pramana, Anukulim, Shamshilam, Bhakti Uttam. That is the Uttam Bhakti. Now, why Rupa Goswami is only talking about Uttam Bhakti, not other type of Bhakti? Why in Bhakti Sindhu he talk only about Uttam Bhakti, not any other type of Bhakti?
Because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is like a summary of the literature. So Goswami wanted to show the.
Last time I told this, don't speculate.
They want to present the highest.
I told this answer.
But not anybody explored these Madhurya Ras.
Say not one good. So the purpose of Bhakti Sindhu is to give the higher rasas, Vasalila, Dasila, the Vraj Bhakti. Vraj Bhakti is only possible through Uttam Bhakti, not a simple Bhakti. And that is why in Bhakti Sindhu, only Uttam Bhakti is mentioned. Not Parameshwar Bhakti, not only Uttam Bhakti. So we want to go to Vrindavan. What type of bhakti we should perform? Want to go to Vrindavan, what type of bhakti should perform? Shuddha Bhakti.
Shuddha Bhakti.
Because Uttam Bhakti will only take us back to Golok Vrindavan. And we discuss by Parameshwar Bhakti, you can go to Vaikuntha, but not to Golok. And we discuss also what is Parameshwar Bhakti, what is Jnana Bhakti, and more in Bhagavad Gita, we'll discuss more in detail. Okay, cyclic चल रहा है ना अभी तो अभी पुरानी यूनिट के कौन लोग जिनका भगवत गीता होंगे तीन हो गए बाकी तो पूरा नया बैच है अच्छा Navin they joined recently or they joined the last unit 13th chapter of Gita cyclic बहुत होता चले after this we will after NOD we will have Vairamayan. I know we should mention. Then Bhagavad Gita. So one cycle is over. Now the question comes, why not only sadhana bhakti and prem bhakti? Why bhav bhakti? Yes? Why? Uttam bhakti has three types. It could be only sadhana bhakti and prem bhakti. Because bhav bhakti is neither sadhana bhakti, neither prem bhakti. So it comes in between. So bhav bhakti contains a direct realization of Krishna. So it cannot be considered sadhana bhakti. And bhava is the goal of sadhana. But it also should be distinguished from prem bhakti. See page number 45. The bhav bhakti should also be distinguished from prem bhakti because impurity is still exists in bhava and thus does not manifest fully in bhava. And I have devotee also not NOD book also, right? So referring to those Bhakti Sindhu and NOD. So if you see this is NOD chapter number 1. So you are able to see first line of say the devotional service in practice, devotional service in ecstasy. You brought or not an audio? I mean, if not got an audio. So I'll show it here. I want to avoid. Refer the audio. So you see, devotional service, chapter 2, the first series of devotion. I think these two books side by side in the study will be able to study nicely. This and this. So they are devotional service in ecstasy has 4 qualities. Devotional service in pure love of God has 6 qualities. And devotional service in practice, there are 2 different qualities. Why Prabhupada is saying this? For saying there's sadhana bhakti. See, when Prabhupada said devotional service in practice, it is which type of bhakti? In ecstasy? Pure love of God. So you can see this categories, right? The Rupa Goswami suggests that a person eligible for Krishna consciousness or devotional service can be classified by his particular taste. And the devotional service is a continual process from one's previous life. No one can take to devotional service unless he has some previous connection with it. Amazing point. Nobody can take to bhakti unless some previous connection to it or the mercy of a devotee. For example, suppose in this line, I practice on service with lesson, even though it is not 100% performed, what I have done will not be lost. In my next life, from the very point where I stop in this time, I should begin and there will be continuity. But even there is no continuity, if by chance a person takes interest in a pure devotee's instruction, he can be accepted and can advance in devotional service. And anyway, for persons with natural taste for understanding books like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, devotional service is easier than those who are simply accustomed to mental speculation and argumentative process. So, how many find natural taste to reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam? Nobody. That is show interest in reading. No? Okay. So, bhakti is easier. So people, otherwise Jnani, they'll keep arguing. Now devotion service now, Rupa Goswami will describe devotion service in practice. Now, by another thing, if you see the appendix down, sadhana bhakti is of 2 types, Vedi and Ragavana, that we'll talk later. Satya bhakti is of 8 types. Bhava, Prema, Pranaya, Sneha, Bhava, Mana, Anurag, and Mahabhava. Now, 17th mark you see, Bhava Bhakti should be distinguished with Prema Bhakti because impurities, anarthas or pradas is still inside Bhava. And thus that does not benefit. So, what is the difference between Bhava and Prema? In Bhava there are aparadas. So, what are the aparadas? Even a trace of aparada that generates separate. Sadhya Bhakti cannot. A Siddha Bhakta or one who has Sadhya Bhakti experiences no suffering at all, performs all action taking shelter of Krishna, and always tastes the happiness of Krishna. Prema. Now, is Sadhana Bhakti is a part? Now, Sadhana Bhakti is it just as preliminary? Why Sadhana Bhakti are part of Uttam Bhakti? We'll discuss here. Now, what is the definition? Now, all of us, we are doing what kind of bhakti? And this definition is very important to understand, right? Kriti sadhya bhave sadhya.
Kriti sadhya bhave sadhya.
Bhava
sa sadhana vida.
Nitya siddhasya bhavasya.
Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. Prakatyam Visatyata.
You should not have to it off on the. So don't forget to bring these 2 books. So sadhana bhakti means, so kriti sadhya. So kriti means to perform. Sadhya. Bhaved sadhya. Kriti sadhya. Bhaved sadhya. Bhava sa sadhana vidha. So bhaved is not bhav here. Kriti sadhya. Bhaved sadhya. Practice of bhakti executed with the senses. Kriti sadhya. Bhaved. So practice of bhakti is executed with the senses. Bhava sa sadhana vidha, which produces the state of bhava, is called sadhana bhakti. Understand meaning of this or not? Now, generally, if you go outside, what people understand bhakti to be? तो बहुत मजा आता होगा ना भगवान के रोते होंगे. People have this understanding or not whenever you talk about bhakti. They talk about Mirabai. Oh, this devotee is so ecstatic. They're only thinking of Krishna, crying tears for Krishna. People think or not? But this is what? This is Bhava Bhakti. But when we talk about doing this, what we say is sentimental. Surgery ho gaya. We talk about it. And outside people expect that from you. So where is the gap? So are outside people expecting something wrong? Here is the gap. We're doing the bhakti with the senses to awaken that power. Kriti sadhya, bhaved sadhya. Bhava sa sadhana vidha. So what is the purpose of bhakti, what we are doing? One day to awaken emotions for Krishna. So if somebody developing emotions to Krishna is wrong or right? So is it right? Sometimes, even while doing sadhana bhakti, these emotions may come, which is called rati abhas. It's not bhava bhakti, it is rati abhas. It's an abhas of the bhavas. And that gives a great taste in our heart. So what is bhava? Nitya siddhasya bhavasya. This bhava is not artificially created. I told a person, he came in Vrindavan temple, he said, oh Radhe, oh Radhe, and then fell down. Radhe and fell down. But what happened? Prabhupada के पास नहीं आता, Prabhupada एक डंडा मारा उसको. After getting a danda, if he begs, no, I deserve it. I'm not a devotee. Then you bring to him. But if he fights with you, एक डंडा मार के और भगा देगा. चौकीदार ने मारा डंडा. वृंदावन के चौकीदार डरते नहीं किसी से, वो भी ब्रजवासी है. तो अपराध भी होगा तो क्या है, ब्रजवासी. तो दे दिया डंडा. यहाँ पर तुम्हें पता नहीं मैं कितना बड़ा भक्त हूँ. सब उसके अंदर से निकल गया. क्योंकि somebody, the bhava, will see the symptoms of bhava in life. I remind you the story again. So it is not, this bhava is not artificially created. So when you artificially try to behave like a bhava, that is sahajya. But if naturally some bhava comes, that is not sahajya. That is rati abhas. But it is eternally existing and is simply manifested by the Lord's spiritual energy, Samvit and Nadani. Why this is Bhava Bhakti is Sudurlabha? See, which is Sudurlabha? Sadhana Bhakti or Bhava Bhakti? Bhava Bhakti. Why? Because Krishna has to best do this. Samvit and Hladini Shakti of Krishna has to empower the heart of the jiva to feel the power of bhakti. Yes, right. So see 18th. Sadhana Bhakti down, the definitions. So sadhana bhakti or practice means employing both our mind and senses in practical devotional service to Krishna to awaken our dormant and natural love for Krishna. So in sadhana bhakti we do only in heart or we do engage our mind and senses? We engage our mind and senses. चौबीस घंटे हमारे अंदर भगवान का नाम चलता है। देखो बनाने ही बना रहे साधना भक्ति हाउ इट हैपन 24 घंटे नाम चलता रहता है। You have to engage mind and when bhakti is cultivated or awakened by actions of the senses, it is called sadhana is that by which bhava and prema are awakened. Bhaktya sanjatya bhaktya. What do we say? Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against all these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. बोलते नहीं बोलते तो किस फिलॉसफी का बेसिस है? So whole sadhana bhakti is what all items of bhakti you should do which awakens power. Let's say reading nectar devotion is very important, no. And this bhava is not an artificial thing. See proper rights here. Practice means, read.
Practice means employing our senses in some particular type of work. Therefore, devotional service and practice means utilizing our different sensory organs in service to Krishna. Some of the senses are meant for acquiring knowledge, and some are meant for executing the conclusions of our thinking, feeling, and willing. So, practice means employing both the mind and the senses in practical devotional service. This practice is not for developing something artificial.
Vallan, are you able to understand? Yeah.
For example, a child learns or practices to walk. This walking is not unnatural. The walking capacity is there originally in the child, and simply by a little practice, he walks very nicely. Similarly, devotional service to the Supreme Lord is a natural instinct of every living entity. Even uncivilized men, like the aborigines, offer their respectful obeisances to something wonderful executed by nature's law, and they appreciate that behind something wonderful execution or action, there is something supreme. So this consciousness, though lying dormant in those who are materially contaminated, is found in every living entity, and when purified, this is called Krishna consciousness.
So why Prabhupada giving an example of a child not need to walk? So when now somebody will say, that means bhakti is not natural. You are trying to get something to practice. So just like people practice archery, people practice engineering, we practice bhakti. So bhakti is also one of the things. They may say that or not, you're trying to cultivate. Now engineering is natural or artificial? Because not everybody should learn engineering, isn't it? But to everybody should learn walking or not? So Prabhupada said it's natural, just like walking. Child has an innate capacity to, but in order to walk, what he needs,
Practice.
so it's natural. So bhakti is natural, or artificial, like engineering studies. But you need to practice. Which is called sadhana bhakti. Then will also awaken that love for Krishna.
Then they may say, if it is natural, then why you need to cultivate? If you are the natural.
That is what I'm saying. No? That is, to walk for a child is natural or not. Then why has to practice? क्या ऐसे हवा में चढ़ने लगे टाइम से प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया बच्चों ने करा ना क्यों करा अरे नेचुरल प्रैक्टिस क्यों करा That's what the example is. Understand? If it is natural, to practice क्यों कर रहा है
Challenge forgotten.
हाँ?
Forgotten. Is able to forgotten.
But child doesn't forget ना उसको सब सीखा भी तो पैदा हुआ भी सीखेगी उससे it's too very forgotten awaken it ना but the capacity is there with the child same way the capacity to love Krishna is there it has to be awakened in the heart. So there are okay. So are you able to understand this point? The child learns a practice to want this walking capacity is already in the child, and simply a little practice, he walks very nice. Yes, experiment. There are
There are certain prescribed methods for implementing our senses and mind in such a way that our government consciousness for loving Krishna will be invoked. As much as a child with a little practice can begin to walk, one who has no basic walking capacity cannot walk by practice. Simply,
अगर capacity नहीं होगा, some children cannot walk. You see that? कितना भी practice करो, because they didn't have an innate capacity to. Similarly, Krishna consciousness cannot be aroused simply by. Actually, there is no such. When you wish to develop innate capacity, there are certain processes by which exactly executing them will cause a dominant capacity to evolve. And such practice is called sadhana bhakti. To involve that bhava in your heart. Are you able to get this point? See, these concepts are very, very solid. This is very amazed when I asked definition of Uttam Bhakti and everybody got yes. But next month I will ask this. So again, don't say that word again. And next month I'm thinking to have one full day camp, morning to evening, then half day. So we complete the syllabus.
Truly, this line is not clear. Similarly, Krishna consciousness cannot be lost simply by practice.
The basic capacity should be required. No? It should be there. Then practice will work.
what should be the basic capacity?
Which every jiva have. That's why it is happening. Not just by practice it's happening. It's not artificial. That's what Prabhupada meant to say.
Any person by the mercy of devotees can get bhakti.
Yeah. That we'll see later. We're talking here Bhava Bhakti, how it is big. Actually, for Bhava Bhakti to awaken, you need mercy only. Because Hiladani, Shakti, covers the heart of the jiva only when there is no paradhas and there is a bhakti. Hiladani Shakti from the heart of one devotee goes to the heart of
So there are some people who may not have this capacity. That's why.
Everybody has that capacity. Everybody, every Jivatma has that capacity. Now, during the madness, Prabhupada talked the three things about during the sadhana bhakti license we had. Prabhupada speak about during the madness. Read from here, spirit soul in his original condition is
The spirit soul in one's original condition is blissful, eternal, and full of knowledge, Satchitananda. Only by his implication in material activities, Vikarma, under the spell of Maya, has he become mad, miserable, temporary, and full of ignorance. Just as a man's mental disease is cured by the direction of the psychiatrist, so this sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul of the madness under the spell of Maya, materialism.
there. Read from NOD book, not from here. So this is due to Vikarma. Vikarma means action which should not be done. Therefore, we must practice sadhana bhakti, which means to offer Manga morning, to refrain from certain mental activities, to offer obeisance to the spiritual master, and to follow many other rules and regulations, which will be discussed here one after another. Which is going, you're attending the classes, right? It's happening. The morning classes. Keshapu and Vajradhara was taking. So this part they are discussing. 64 active principles. We are discussing the principles of it. So these practices will help one becoming cured of madness. As a man's mental disease is cured by the directions of the psychiatrist, so the sadhana bhakti cures the conditioned soul of his madness under the spell of Maya. So first, what is happening? We have some madness. So madness is getting cured by sadhana. What is first happening? Madness is getting. What is madness? I'm an engineer. It's a madness. I'm an engineer, isn't? I'm the son and son of so and such, is it? So all this madness is getting cured by mental identification. The duties are not getting. Duty you should do to parents, that thing. But the identification, that is getting cured. I'm the husband of such and such wife. Is also madness or not? I'm the father of such and such boys, such girl, boy and girl. Is madness or not? Because Jivatma is none of them. So due to that, madness only is Sarvadi Nirmattam Tatparatvena Nirvana. So often Mangalarti, offer obeisances. Right? Now come to essence of sadhana bhakti. Then what is sadhana bhakti? In one word you want to explain what is sadhana bhakti, what is the purpose? One word, जो भी हम कर रहे हैं. You hear so many regulations and things like that. But what is the purpose of all this regulation you do in voice? We chant so many rounds. We do Mangal Aarti. We are having so many camps. We are hearing morning class. What is one purpose of all this? अरे तो है ही साधना भक्ति का लेकिन तो साधना भक्ति कर रहा है ना तो साधना भक्ति के सारे अंगों का क्या पर्पस है Yes, अभी तो पढ़ लिया next. But good. You put a common sense. This essence of sadhana bhakti is to fix mind on Krishna. Sometimes you just keep fighting. ये ऐसे करना चाहिए, वैसे करना चाहिए, ऐसे डांस करना चाहिए. Ask one question. Is it helping you to remember Krishna? किसी डिवोटी ने ऐसा बहुत इसने ऐसा किया, मुझे पता पता ऐसा they become very disturbed, no? Ask a question, is it helping in remembering Krishna? Then you won't get disturbed, people don't follow rules and regulations. But when you see people's bhava, that is he remembering Krishna?
In the course of our sadhana practice schedule, sometimes one after another it so happens that we forget this time we will have to do this, have to do this next time, this next
So you lost the purpose of sadhana bhakti. And that's why what will not happen? Krite sadhe bhavet sadhe bhava sa sadhana bhida will not happen. Bhava will not awaken. That is the purpose of studying nectar of devotion. Don't do sadhana bhakti mechanically. The purpose is to fix mind on Krishna. Sadhana. Sadhu savadhan. मन को साध कर भगवान पे लगाते हैं, इसको साधना। निशाना साधना सुना, you fix your mind, right? Sadhana means fix your mind on Krishna. So nishana sadhya. So sadhana means fix your mind on Krishna. And when your mind is fixed on Krishna with the rules and regulations you follow, that will awaken bhava. They don't have bhakti mechanically. Are you able to get this one? So essence of sadhana bhakti is to fix the mind on Krishna. So Narada Muni spoke to Krishna. Somehow or other one has to concentrate, read from this book. Somehow or other one has to concentrate one's mind and senses also on Krishna. Tasmat kenati upayena mana Krishne. Tasmat ken api, kaise bhi, upayena, by any way, any means, mana Krishna nishevaya, comes our mind on Krishna. Tasmat, therefore, ken api, anyway, upayena mana Krishna, and either by hatred, vaira, nirvairena, bhaya, sneha, or kama. Gopyat, kamat. Bhayat, kamsat. Dveshat, nirapi. That how Kamsa fixes his mind on Krishna? by fear. Gopi out of lust. Apparently it means this love. So Gopi is there. And Shishupal, envy, hatred. Vrishni is family relationship. Krishna हमारे family के. And Narada by bhakti. Now, if Krishna comes and remembering Krishna by fear, is bhakti?
No.
कौन बोला yes? कौन बोला yes? हाँ, good, good, good. एक क्लास खराब हो गया मेरा yes बोल दिया. So, is comes a bhakti? Not a bhakti. But even without a bhakti, remember Krishna, you will get purified. Then what to say if you do bhakti and remember Krishna? Shishupal hated Krishna, still he got purified.
How purified? Like he got liberation, but how purified? Shishupal and Kamsa.
Shishupal got Sarupa Mukti. Sarupa Mukti. See, Tasmad Ekina Mansa, Bhagwan Sadhu Dhampati. And Kona Kuryat Tasmad Sir Granthi Shimshaya. The Karam Granthi Chandanti. Kona Kuryat Kathavate. So when you focus on the Supreme Lord, Karam Granthi breaks. So if anyway you remember, see, Krishna, Nam, Guna, Rup, Leela have potency. Anyway you associate with them, it will take away all sin and purify your subtle body. Krishna's Nam, Rup, Guna, Leela, whatever way you take, if you just absorb it, to be attentive in it, they will purify you. So now Shishupal, while fearing, was he remembering Krishna's form or not? Envy comes of fearing. So because they're remembering Krishna's form and quality, they got purified. So anybody who will take the same way, anybody take Krishna's name, will they get purified? Whatever intention there, Ajamila. Which intention they got purified? So anyway the Jivatma comes in contact with Nam, Rup, Guna, Leela of Krishna, he will get purified. This is the whole basis of sadhana bhakti.
Like, but even
Are you getting point? Whole basis of sadhana bhakti is some way or other you come in contact with Nam, Rup, Guna, Leela. And by that you come in touch with Krishna, you will get purified.
in case of both Kamsa and Shishupal till their last breath, they were having fear and envy towards Krishna.
But they were remembering Krishna.
If they get mukti, so liberation, I understood that by remembering God, they got liberation. But purifying what sense?
Purified means their enemy also purified eventually now. Because Shishupal went to Vaikuntha, a devotee of the Lord. Putna became a mother, nurse, Dhatri. So they purified also. That is a beautiful. So even demons get purified. So if you do bhakti, will you not get purified? And Narada is talking about humility, that people, if you hate somebody, you remember him more than you love somebody. So they, even demons are remembering, we are not remembering Krishna so much. We devotees are not remembering Krishna so much as demons are remembering Krishna.
Glorification means that they are envy and anger or
All get purified.
Krishna will become great concept of your skill, great concept of liberation.
You are liberated. Krishna killed him. No? And he was purified thinking of Krishna. Everywhere you will see Krishna.
They are thinking about Krishna, something which he is not.
They're thinking of Krishna's form, no? That purified.
And that was also
But the thinking of Krishna's form, no? Sanketyam parihasyam va. Even somebody, hey, Hare Krishna wale aa gaya. Will he get purified or not? Hare Krishna तो बोल दिया ना. Same with रूप of Krishna. Just as said name of Krishna, same way with deities. Even unknowingly somebody did protection of Lord Vishnu. May he get verified or not. But Lord has seen him, no? Yeah. So much say welcome. He chanted the name. That's all. Somewhere he chanted, and with affection. Beta Narayan, 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 Narayan. Then Apnad. So one devotee was saying, one devotee family, very pakka family. He had 3 children, 2 children devotee, third child is not devotee. But third child son, they named Krishna. So mother will call Krishna, Krishna. He'll also hear Krishna. And then he went to some foreign country and he became a pakka devotee. Krishna. So now, that's what is regard. So I understand how this bhakti works. If you understand the technicalities of bhakti, you become strong devotees. Techniques. We know details, we should know the basics. Prabhupada writes, see, it is the duty of the Acharya. In annuity book we have, either we have. Okay. So where we read from this book, but I'm going badly so that we know that we are covering proper NOD also. But this is very characteristically giving like the verses, verse number. So it becomes more easy to understand. And it is taken from, Prabhupada is taken from this book. Actually, Bhaktivinoda with Vishwanath Thakur commentary and Jiva Goswami commentary is more bigger. Like, should I show you what is the original form of them looks like? I have my Kindle copy. The PPT cover कर देते हैं. साधना भक्ति, भाव भक्ति, प्रकृति साध्य, अवेद साध्य. Bhavasa, eternal existence. Shraddha. Dormant love. Vedic sadhana, Raghunath sadhana. So you see, core definition, devotional sadhana is inspired not by spontaneity, but by the form of awakening of faith in the direction of the essence. So we'll describe between Vedic sadhana and Raghunath sadhana. Three types of regarding this practice. Open the actual identity. But you are feeling benefited by understanding this knowledge. See, when you read the scripture, Hare Krishna, when we read the scriptures, it should penetrate into all directions of your life. You should be able to see what we are practicing, to see the word. So any hearing of scripture should be awakening. It's not just a matter of words. And that is a purpose calling you physically. I can take 2-3 classes online also, but it won't have that impact. But physically we come in, it broke the conceptions. Are you getting the point? That's why I call it Vassal comment. ऑनलाइन में घुसता नहीं है, how many observe? Attendance रह जाती है. And if somebody is not in Bangalore, तो मजबूरी भी है थोड़ा what to do. अगर ऑनलाइन में अगर रस आने लगता है, then it is fine. Otherwise क्या होता है थोड़ा? It becomes an attendance लग गया, कुछ सुन लिया. पर क्लास में रह के थोड़ा टेंशन एक अलग रहता है. And it moves concepts. These classes are like, Bhakti Jasi moves your concepts. You find everything is new there or not? It's very moving. But everything is in Bhagavad Gita, if you see. साधना भक्ति की वेद है ना ये. Definition of Vedic Bhakti. So, Tasmat so 3 types. Sab Bhakti. So this is original comment. Original what Rupa Goswami has written. Sadhana, Sabhakti Sadhanam Bhava Prema Cheti Tidodita. There are 3 types of bhakti: sadhana, bhava, and prema. So sadhana bhakti is called heart. In the influence of the heart, the emotion of the atma becomes prominent. Bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya bhakti puranta. The process body aged by exists called a bhakti produced from sadhana. So this one Vishnu Jagdish Thakur commentary. Divine Bhav Bhakti comes in sadhana bhakti. Say no. Why? Not having experienced all obstacles. The student races of serious aparadhas. So this we already read, right? Then you read action. Krite sadhya bhavet sadhya. So this definition comes from whom? Rupa Goswami. Then Jiva Goswami, bhakti cultivated. Bhakti is cultivated, sadhya, by actions of the senses. So sadhana. Then doubt may arise, it is artificially produced. We covered this or not? So we're actually covering all that. Bhava is written. And Narada speaks of sadhana bhakti. This with the title that seems to be Bhakti in the 7th canto. तो ये दीपक शब्द तस्मात् वैरानुबन्धेन निर्वैरेण भैरवा स्नेहात् कामेन वैयुञ्जात् कथचित् निशाप्तम्. So therefore, Tasmat Kinadipayana Manah Krishna. So this he quotes from Bhagavatam. Who? Rupa Goswami. And then Jiva Goswami gives this commentary. And then there are 2 types of sadhana bhakti, Vyani and. So we are going in that sequence, if you see. You see, we are going in the sequence or not? 4th, 3rd, 4th. this number corresponds to the verse. You see, verse number 5 talk about this, no? Very. So third, fourth में हम इस पे आ रहे थे. One में somehow think of Krishna. So we are going sequentially. Are you getting the कि कैसे जा रहे हैं हम बपतिस्मा सिंधु पढ़ रहे हैं. We're able to map everything. So it's the duty of the acharya to find the ways and means for one disciple to bring on Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya gave us a powerful process of chanting Hare Krishna that eventually attaches our mind to Krishna. This is the beginning of sadhana bhakti. Alright? It's the duty of the spiritual master to how to make the disciple make their mind fixed on Krishna. That's why you should do bhakti under the guidance of. But what is the goal? But what happens? We go in different zone. ये करेंगे, ये अचीव करेंगे, वो कर देंगे. Without remembrance of. वहाँ प्रॉब्लम होती है. Why it is said, Baba, control your senses and tongue. Tongue, belly, and genitals. Because you're not able to remember Krishna unless you control them. If we eat pav bhaji, samosa, all this item, class में नींद ही आएगी, attentive नहीं हो पाओगे. Chanting में नींद ही आएगी अगर habit होगी, तो how will you remember Krishna? So all the rules and regulations are called to always remember Krishna. And that's how the spiritual master engages the disciple in remembering Krishna. And the blessings of Guru, one can easily remember Krishna. So two types of sadhana bhakti, Vairi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Now what is this Raganuga sadhana bhakti? Now we will see. So first we'll see. So Raganuga sadhana bhakti will come in the second part. But if we read what Prabhupada is writing, read a paragraph. Now the sadhana bhakti, first part is service.
Now the sadhana bhakti, or practice of devotional service, may also be divided into two parts. The first part is called service, according to regulative principles. One has to follow these different regulative principles by the order of the spiritual master.
In sadhana bhakti, what is there? Regulative principles are there, which to be followed on the which will come. Yes. Then another part is.
Another part of sadhana bhakti.
And opposite on the strength of authority scripture, there can be no question of refusal. Can't get me that. Me again. Yes. Then.
That is called Vaidhi or regulative. One has to do it without argument. Another part of sadhana bhakti is called Raganuga. Raganuga refers to the point at which, by following the regulative principles, one becomes a little more attached to Krishna and executes devotional service out of natural love.
Okay, now Raganuga is a part of practice or no? It's part of practice only. It's not stage of Bhava. Lesser than now, asakti stage. And Prabhupada gives example. Give example.
For example, a person engaged in devotional service may be ordered to rise early in the morning and offer arati, which is a form of deity worship. In the beginning, by the order of his spiritual master, one rises early in the morning and offers arati, but then he develops real attachment. When he gets this attachment, he automatically tries to decorate the deity and prepare different kinds of dresses and thinks of different plans to execute his devotional service nicely. Although it is within the category of practice, this offering of loving service is spontaneous. So the practice of devotional service, sadhana bhakti, can be divided into two parts, mainly regulative and spontaneous.
Regulative and okay, now come to page number 48 here. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So what is the definition of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti? See, that's a definition understanding is very important. First, understand definition of sadhana bhakti. What definition of sadhana bhakti? Krite sadhe, bhakti sadhe, bhava sa sadhana gata. And now definition of Vedi sadhana. Yatra raga ragana papa tapa tapa tapa. प्रवृत्ते उपजायते शासनेन शास्त्रस्य वेदी भक्ति उच्यते. So when the activities of bhakti arise not out of attachment, raga. Even with attainment of raga, devotee has recorded spiritual teaching, but it is not Vedic bhakti because of the attachment to Krishna. Now, do you feel you are attached to chanting? No. So that means what? Vedi sadhana. Still we are doing it, though we are not attached to it. It's called Vedi sadhana. So when the activity of bhakti arises not out of attachment or natural taste, but shashaneva, shashan, discipline, regulation, order of the scriptures or spiritual master, Vedi Bhakti Uchyate. The scripture says it, we are doing it. Spiritual Prabhupada said it, we are doing it. This is called Vedi Sadhana. But again, what is the purpose of this sadhana bhakti? To remember Krishna. And now what is and rising early in the morning? Prabhupada gave the example of worshiping the deities. The initially morning program is a challenge. Raganga means in the attached morning program. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari Shotavya Kirtita Prasya Smartavya Ichitavya. So this to appreciate one desire to be free from all miseries and fears must hear about, glorify and remember Krishna, the super soul of one who desires to be free from all miseries and fears must hear about, glorify and remember Krishna. Must. So the instruction of the scriptures is very sadhana. So anyone who becomes a devotee of Krishna never vanquished, others are vanquished. They continue entangled in the world with their 84 like species, using the spiritual energy control all of nature. Krishna is the control of all of us. If we take his shelter seriously, there will be no fear of being combined in the cycle of so many species and will transfer to the abode of Krishna. No? So Prabhupada writing this kind of the same thing. What is? Prabhupada talks about it. So we are not doing this what it is. An example given of Parashut Maharaj. Here Parashut Maharaj was fearless in getting the okay. So one becomes fearless. Now what is Vedi Bhakti in Padma Purana? Vismartavyam satatam Vishnu.
Satatam Vishnu.
Vismartavya najatu chet.
Vismartavyo na jatu chet.
Sarvedi nishedhasu.
Sarvedi nishedhasu.
Yetyo eva kinkaram.
Yetyo eva kinkaram.
So what is the bhakti? Always remember and never forget. All injunctions and prohibition are dependent on this too. Sarvedi nishedhasu yetyo eva kinkaram. So ask what rules, the purpose of all rules in bhakti? Remember Krishna. Purpose of all don'ts is to not forget Krishna. So that should be very clear. Now question comes, is this satata means every day or every second? Satata means every day and not every second. Because continuous remembrance of Krishna would be impossible in sadhana bhakti. Yes, Padma Puran ki. Vishnu Chakari Thakur's commentary will read. It's beautiful not to read that way. So all the rules and provision means scriptural injunctions such as Ahara Sandhya Pasada, Brahmana Mantavya, one should not kill a Brahmana. So one should remember all injunction provision depending on these two. So Sarvadhini Shena means scriptural injunctions such as Ahara Sandhya Pasada. One must worship daily on the Sandhyas. Gayatri will go. Dhyan Suhantasya Shasti Sandhya, Monday Guru Shri. And Brahmana Mantavya, one should not kill a Brahmana. So all these injunctions and provision are dependent on the intention to remember the Lord always and provision never to forget Him. So to do the opposite, will yet opposite. If you make remember of Vishnu secondary to all the rules, will yet opposite result. That is why Chitta Jatu is for emphasizing Jatu and not for indicating it is normal. So just ask a question. In your morning program, how much you remember Krishna? That much sadhana bhakti you did. बाकी तो रिचुअल हो गया. And it includes remembering Guru, Vande Guru Shri, praying to Tulsi Maharani. All that prayers are also in Sharanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Childrenam Vedana. So the addition Chitta Jatu, emphasizing Jatu, and not for notion, because all rules are dependent on remember Vishnu. If one remembers Vishnu, what is instructed in other rules is accomplished. And because all prohibitions such as killing cows and brahmanas also include a rule to know if one follows Vishnu, that person should be considered to have accrued unlimited sins produced by committing all the prohibited acts. If you forget Vishnu, you have committed all sins. So Satata means every day, not every second. Who writes this? Vishnu. That's why the comment comes here. Right? Since continuous remembrance would be impossible to do, this would produce loss of faith and rules of bhakti because that will happen. So every day you should remember Lord Vishnu. Every day you should chant, no? My question is, the purpose of chanting is what? Mechanical chanting means? Then you get all? And that's why you face problem.
Probably like without it, attachment, there can be remembrance.
That is really sadhana bhakti, no? There is no attachment. We are trying to see what is remembrance in our stage. Hare Krishna. Then whom you think of? Very good. Hearing sound vibration of Krishna, remembering Krishna.
Because in general, someone is not attached to someone, why will they remember?
That is why Vedic sadhana, because the order of Guru. For example, wife is not attached to husband initially, but then she served every day to the husband. Then she becomes attached.
Okay, by remembrance, we will develop the attachment.
The anartha will be purified, then nishtha will come, then ruchi, asakti, bhava. For deities, you see Radha and Chandra, you get attached. You see Jagannath, you get attached to that form or not? That's why we dance in front of Radha Madhav in the morning. But our mind is somewhere else. Deity worship helps to focus on the form.
Actually, I remember I was watching Anita Maharaj's video. He was sharing how Prabhupada was watching a comedy and still able to remember Krishna, the Charlie Chaplin. Like how he could able to remember Krishna at those situations, even though like in 10th chapter Krishna says like his various expansions in the Meru, in the animals, the birds, beasts. So like how we can have the same attitude as Prabhupada had, even though he was watching something mundane, but still he could remember Krishna.
So your question is how?
Like at our stage, I mean, we will not be able to imitate Prabhupada.
So chant Hare Krishna and don't watch comedy movies. ठीक है इति असहस्या विधि नित्यः सर्वनाशनादिषु नित्यत्यपि अस्य निर्णीतम् एकादशी अधिवचनम्. So everyone within the outside of Varnashram should always follow this rule concerning worship of the always will follow the daily duty according to scriptures. The scripture also ascribe attractive rituals of observing as in the case of Ekadashi. So Varnashram should follow this rule, remembering Krishna and not forgetting Krishna. And realizing this also plays after verse 12. So 10:11. यथा एकादशेतु व्यक्तमे भूक्तं मुखाबाहुव्रतादेभ्यः पुरुषस्य आश्रमे सा चत्वारो जगिरे वर्णा गुणे विभ्राते पृथक् य एषां पुरुषं साक्षात् आत्मप्रभुम् ईश्वरं न वदन्त्यो जानन्ति स्थानं भ्रष्टा पतत्यथा. In the 11th canto is saying that, so that's why you should to understand Bhagavatam should know full Bhagavatam. That's why you're reading the short verses. Okay? So 9 to 11 is given. So we read it here. Each of the four social orders headed by Brahmanas was born through different combinational modes of nature. Thus, the four special orders were also if any of the members of the four Varnas of Ashrama fail to worship or intentionally disrespect the personality of God, they will fall down from the position to have a state of. That means what is the purpose of Varna? You know what Varna Ashrama is, right? Yes. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Then Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana. First is the ashram, second is the Varna. The whole Varna Ashrama, the purpose is just this. Remember Krishna, not forget. In order to show the misfortune not worshiping the worship of Lord, first the reason why the Lord is to be worshipped are shown in the first verse. The four Varnas arising from the Gunas. So those who do not worship the Lord, from whom directly arise the Brahmanas and all others, and who rather insult the Lord by not worshiping Him, fall down. If you do it, what happens? Evam Kriya Yogapate, Kaman Vedi Tantrika, Archana Vyasiddhi Bhatto Vindati Vishta. By worshipping through the various methods, Prasanna Veda and Tantra, one will gain from it a desire perfection both in life and the next. The result of Vedic Bhakti is taking Archana as a representative of other processes as well. Akamas or Kamano, Moksha Kamodati, Tibrena Bhakti ho gaya. So whether you desire or no desire, just worship Tibrena Bhakti, sincerity. Pancharatra 6. But they worship by all activities prescribed by the object are called Vedi. This is Pavan Bhakti when it gets Prem Bhakti. So this is in Pancharath, Narada Pancharath. It talks about. So if you see, this all has been. Now Krishna will talk about results of Vedic Bhakti. Tadadikari. Who's qualified for this one. So now so Krishna also told us the results of Vedic Bhakti by worshipping me through the Rasa prescribed, one will attain perfection both in this life and in the next life. Yes. This way. This way. Next life. Not everybody will want to get liberated. Or they will get liberated. That is a Kamas are come. Vedic Bhakti now comes 1421 qualification for Vedic sadhana. And basically where you have to cover today. Yeah. I think they start from 72 now, Keshav Prabhu and Banerjee Prabhu. 64 lines of Bhakti. So we have to cover them. And we are on the 14, we have to cover till 70. But interesting, we are going verse by verse, systematically. One second. So try to cover, and then afterwards, I'll cover from here. Raghavan Vasana, 270. Raghavan Sadhana Bhakti, and it's like. Very colorful book. Actually, everyone must have this book. जिसने नाम नहीं दिया था, जिसने नाम दिया था उसको मिल जाएगी. जिसने नाम नहीं दिया था, you purchase online. But for anybody, refer this book. And Sri Prabhupada. Both together you will understand very nicely. So read here, for example, page number 25, Night on Devotion. Prabhupada talk about for example, a Brahmana was born under the head of the Lord. Maybe.
For example, a Brahmana who is born out of the head of the Lord has as his business to preach the transcendental Vedic sounds or Shabda Brahma. Because a Brahmana is the head, he has to preach the transcendental sound and he also has to eat on behalf of the Supreme Lord. According to Vedic injunctions, when a Brahmana eats, it is to be understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is eating through him. It is not, however, that the Brahmana should simply eat on behalf of the Lord and not preach the message of Bhagavad Gita to the world.
25. In the old book is 25. I don't know.
Actually, one who preaches the message of Gita is very dear to Krishna, as it is confirmed in the Gita itself. Such a preacher is factually a Brahmana, and thus by feeding him, one feeds the Supreme Lord directly.
Similarly, the Kshatriya has to protect people from the onslaughts of Maya. That is his duty. For example, as soon as Maharaj Parikshit saw that a black man was attempting to kill a cow, immediately took his sword, wanting to kill the black man. His name was Kali. That is Kshatriya's duty. Violence is required in order to give protection. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna directly gave his order to Arjuna to commit violence on battlefield of Kurukshetra, just to give protection to the people in general.
The Mecca made for producing agriculture product, trading them and distributing them. And the working class pursued that by those who haven't the intelligence of Brahmanas or the Kshatriyas or the Vaishyas. And therefore they are meant to help these higher class by bodily labor. In this way, there is full cooperation and spiritual advancement among all the different orders of society. And when there is no such cooperation, the members of society will fall down.
So see, probably how Varna Ashrama becomes a part of Vedic Bhakti, that everybody acts for satisfying Krishna. Sansatyam Hari Varna Ashrama Vibhagsha Sansatyam. The purpose of Varna Ashrama is to satisfy. So how Brahmana is preaching is to satisfy Lord Krishna. Kshatriya is protecting the citizens. If Kshatriya doesn't protect, like he says, how does Shringi, is a small boy and has the power to curse? Because of good management of Parikshit Maharaj. So Kshatriyas protect nicely, they will be good Brahmanas. And Vaishyas give money to support. But in Krishna Devi Varnashrama, everybody chants over the end of the law. Everybody remembers the law. And everybody goes back to. That's why Krishna consciousness is very nice. Here, let everyone be engaged in water of the Krishna, let him worship Krishna, but result of day to day Krishna consciousness. Now, chapter 3. So, one chapter B. Now we come to eligibility for the candidate for setting. So here, 3 types of adhikaris will be there, 4 types of sukritinas, and this is the bhakti surpasses mukti. That is, bhakti surpasses, then purity of bhakti is another chapter. And here we end. So 3 more chapters, and then we are done with this part. Then we go to the Bhakti. So mostly today we'll be able to do at least 2 parts of the 3. Till 8:30 we have time. The first one we went little slow to understand the full progress. So we are going at a good speed, learning. Yes.
So this what we are reading here is Vaiti Devi Varnashrama.
Yeah, the whole Vaidika is even in Varnashrama, people, the main aim is to remember Krishna, not for
So
satisfy Lord.
when Devi Varnashrama,
They directly remember Krishna by chanting the holy names. In Vedic Varnashrama, you elevate by serving the Brahmanas. But Devi Varnashrama, you directly.
so for the part 2 is Vaiti Bhakti, we are referring to the Devi Varnashrama or the Mama Varnashrama?
Both.
Both.
Both are meant to satisfy Krishna. Okay, so we take a break now. What time shall we be back? It's 4:30. We'll be back at 5. And let's see, 5 o'clock, we will take another break. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so 5 o'clock again we come. Or you want a bigger break? Dinner prasad. See, here prasadam starts 4:30. But you may want to take prasadam at 6:37. No? So then, so now you can go and take. Anybody wants to take, go in the temple and take prasadam and come. Then 5 to 7 we'll have. Then 7 we can have another break. And see after 7 we'll continue or not, depending on the need. Depending on your enthusiasm. The time is still, official time is still 8:30.
One thing I keep hearing this problem is to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So always remember Krishna when it is told. Why again also tell never forget Krishna? Like any reason for that?
Because when you forget Krishna, you commit sin. It's not forget Krishna, you don't commit sin. So 5 o'clock in the